Which brings us to our next pick, Novo Nordisk. We first started talking about Novo Nordisk about 3 months ago, but we had been watching it for some time. And Novo Nordisk is such an interesting company because it's a pharmaceutical company that has been investing heavily in weight loss and diabetes drugs. If you've heard of Ozempic, Novo Nordisk is the company that produces that. And if you're watching TV anywhere in the world, you have probably seen these weight loss commercials. If you are on social media, you have probably seen an influencer or a celebrity that has talked about their use of these weight loss drugs. This company has been on fire.
So let's talk about the returns of Novo Nordisk. Now, when we first started talking about it was just a couple months ago, and since then the return has been 7%. Now get this, over the past year, the return has been 75%. And over the past 5 years, the return has been 459%. So those are huge numbers over the past 5 years, but since we've been talking about it, like I said, only 7%. Now, this is something that we still think there is so much huge potential with this particular investment. And we think about this because of a couple reasons. So the first is manufacturing capacity. There is so much demand for these particular drugs produced by this company that Novo Nordisk cannot keep up with the demand.
The second issue is insurance. So a lot of insurance companies in the US do not cover the use of these drugs for weight loss. You see, Ozempic was originally manufactured to address diabetes, but what they have found is that it is a great weight loss drug as well. But the problem is insurance companies are not covering it for weight loss. And so in the US especially, you have to have diabetes or something along those lines in order to have the prescription covered. The next issue is cost. This is a very expensive drug, and because of the expense, not a lot of people can afford to stay on these drugs. And so hopefully the cost of these drugs comes down, which means that more people will have access to this drug. Now, there's a lot of controversy around weight loss drugs, and we're not here to get into that. In fact, we did a whole video on the pros and cons of Ozempic and investing in these weight loss companies. But from our perspective, there is so much demand for these drugs that a company like Novo Nordisk is going to do very well. But there is always competition. So this should be your biggest concern whenever you're investing in a company like this. Well, there's actually two big concerns. But competition is a huge concern because there are other companies like Eli Lilly that are also producing weight loss drugs. And the other issue are unforeseen side effects that surprise people with these drugs that could crash this company.
So again, these are all things to consider if you are investing in Novo Nordisk. We are continuing to invest in it. We think that once it fixes its issues with manufacturing capacity, insurance, and costs, and also as we're monitoring these side effects and the impact of the news that it could have on this company, we think that there's a lot of potential.